You need to see this chart right here. Bitcoin just flashed red on the legendary MTF indicator. This has huge implications as to what is about to happen for Bitcoin. Are you tired of being in the rat race? Is your dream to have financial freedom? I have been in the lab for the past 2 years, building the best membership site in the world. We are the first to combine crypto knowledge, TA, and trading strategies with step-by-step how to achieve financial freedom. There's nothing like this that exists in the world. Our Financial Freedom Academy has been on fire, but you haven't been able to sign up because it's been locked. But today, we are finally opening the doors, but only for a limited time. Become a part of my inner circle. Lock in this huge discount before prices increase. Get $19,000 of value for only $91 a month. Go to CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Again, CryptoCrewUniversity.com. The clock is ticking. Go sign up right now. By the way, when you go to the page, scroll to the bottom, you're going to see this box right here. This has a lot more value, even cheaper, 2 extra months for free. Click on that box. You're going to love it. I'll see you on the inside. Now, let's jump into it. We're on the 2-month chart, okay? We can pull up this indicator. You can go to your indicators tab and pull up CM Ultimate MA MTF version 2. If you want to look at the settings that I have on this, it's right here. But we've covered this at length for a very long time. Simply put, when we're in green, the market is very bullish. And when we're in red, it generally represents the bear markets, except for this little piece of time right here, which we'll get to in a moment. But you can clearly see we just flashed red. So what does this mean? What should we be doing? At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what I think is going on and how I'm going to play this. But let's just look at the facts first. If we go all the way back to 2011, right? We had this large area of green, and as soon as we switched to red, that is the time that we entered that bear market. And what we look for is simply that change from red to green. It happened early days here, which signaled phase 1 of the bull. That change from red to green signals phase 1 of the bull. And you can see what happened in phase 1 of the bull. Back then, we were green for a very long time. How long, you ask? It was about 730 days of green. We reached the top of the market back in 2014. We switched to red, which represented the very early stages of that bear market, and we remained red for quite a while. We remained red for about 426 days. And then once again, we were looking for one thing and one thing only, that switch from red to green. When you switch from red to green, that's when Bitcoin enters phase 1 of the bull. And you can see that we remained green for a very long time, about 1,035 days, right? So a bit longer than that first cycle. That second cycle was relatively long with over 1,000 days of green. But once again, we reached the market cycle top. And once again, this indicator gave us a huge clue very early on that we switched to red. We were entering that long extended bear market. And once again, that previous market, about 426 days of red, this was about 365 days of red in 2018, a little bit shorter. And with that came a little bit of turbulence. If you remember the market back then, we were waiting for one thing and one thing only, that switch from red to green. Once we switched from red to green with this indicator, that gave us a very early warning sign of, hey, we're entering phase 1 of the bull. And that's what we did. We entered phase 1 of the bull, and we grew too fast, too quickly. We did not build market structure, and we had this little blip of red. This little blip of red here is the only blip of red that doesn't represent a true bear market. This was not a bear market by any stretch of the imagination. We were still in phase 1 of the bull, even with this red. Okay, so this red happened to be for approximately 182 days. So about a half a year, we switched to red. That's when everybody freaked out. They thought the world was going to end, and it didn't. We were just fine. We were waiting for one thing and one thing only. We were waiting for that shift from that red back to the green so that we continue phase one of the bull. Keep in mind, we entered phase one of the bull here, and we were still in phase one of the bull here. We switched back to green, and everything was fine. If we remained green for that whole period, we're talking about 800 days, right? So it's a good mix of time between each cycle. We reached our market cycle top, we switched to red, and you know the rest. We were red for approximately 549 days. Now, we were waiting for one thing and one thing only. You probably remember it well. We've covered it in many, many videos. We were waiting for that red to shift back to green. It was last year, 2022, and it was November when we switched to that green. Remember, there was only one thing or two things I was really waiting for with Christmas coming. We were waiting for this to switch to green, and we were waiting for that MACD cross. That was all I wanted for Christmas, and we got it. We actually got both right about the same time. This switched from red to green, and we called for Bitcoin to be in phase one of the bull. That was last year. And since then, Bitcoin has gone from about 15K up to about 31K. And we were in phase one of the bull. Everything was looking fine. But this switch to red has just happened. So what does it mean? Can we decipher anything based on the facts in the charts here? We absolutely can. We can look back at these other two cycles and we can say, okay, these were a little bit cleaner. Our bear markets were very, very distinct and very, very exact with their movements. And also our movement into green was very, very specific and very exact. And our first two cycles were pretty clean. The next cycle was a bit messy. That's where things started to really turn for Bitcoin, right? We had this bear market, which was, again, par for the course. It was the same precise bear market as before. The only thing that happened was here, when we switched into phase one of the bull, we didn't build proper market structure. We grew too quickly and it wasn't sustainable. So we had this little blip of red, and remember, about 6 months. And we switched back to green and everything was just fine. We had our market cycle top, we changed to red, and then we were back on course. This change to red was a little bit longer than the priors, which is fine because we had already had a double top, so there was a little bit of a different type of market that was in front of us. And again, we were waiting for that shift to green to be in phase one of the bull. So are we still in phase one of the bull? Is this a huge concern, this shift to red? And is this something that could have a negative effect and a complete downfall for Bitcoin? Well, if you look deep into it, we can say that we are still in phase one of the bull. That this blip of red is exact. It's right in front of us. It's a bona fide fact. However, this hasn't printed yet. We're still in the midst, right? We still have time for this to close and print, right? It's red right now, but this could change. And even if it doesn't change, we know from our prior cycle that we had this little blip of red while the market was really correcting and building the proper structure, and then we went back to green. We already know that this was, in fact, still phase one of the bull. In fact, every time we switched to green, it was phase one of the bull. As we said many times, maybe 30, 40, 50 times in videos, we correctly called the bottom of June with bottom number 1 and correctly called November with the bottom of 2, the second bottom, and then we entered phase one of the bull. And the whole time we said in maybe 30, 40, 50 videos, the worst case scenario for Bitcoin is to retest our base. We said it repeatedly. The worst case, we retest our base. The worst case, we retest our base. So could Bitcoin, and again, this is the total market cap, could Bitcoin come down and retest its base? Absolutely. Will we still be in phase one of the bull if we came down and retested our base? Absolutely. We've done that in 2 other market cycles, or 66% of the time we've come down and retested our base. So is Bitcoin in big trouble with this flash of red? Not exactly. This is a little warning sign which hasn't printed yet. This is the key. We're in the midst of it printing. It's going to print at the end of the month. So is this a huge concern at the moment? No, not at all. Could Bitcoin come down and retest its base? Yes, we've been saying that for maybe about 10, 11 months now, that the worst case scenario is Bitcoin could come down and retest its base. So could we be concerned about a retest of a base? No, that would be an incredible buying opportunity, and Bitcoin has done that precisely in 66% of its prior cycles. Now, what I will say is this. If we are here and we are 5 or 6 months later and this is still red, that's a huge concern. Keep in mind, this stayed red for 6 months. We're in the early days. We haven't printed yet, but this is very noteworthy material. Hit that subscribe button. Go sign up, cryptocrewuniversity.com. I'll see you right back here in the next video. I'm going to try to pump out another video or 2 today, so hit that subscribe button. Make sure you lock in that FFA discount. That is going to be a game changer. If you're not in the FFA already and you're not a part of my inner circle and you're not on your way to financial freedom, this is the best thing you can possibly do for yourself and your future. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com. You will thank me later. I guarantee it. There's so much value in there, and you're going to have a huge transformation in your life. I'll see you on the inside. Peace and love to the fellow underdogs. I want to have you earn 5 times more. There's mini courses, form alerts, trade alerts, live videos. My courses have the largest discount right now, but only for a limited time. Our courses have changed so many lives.
I experienced my first big winning trades, over 100% gain.
I have learned to turn off my emotions and be patient and gave me direction for my business activities.
They give you the approach to deal with everything.
If you're not sure whether you should do it or not, I highly recommend that you do.
This is your transformation. You're going to turn it all around starting right now. CryptoCrewUniversity.com.